Hi, my name is Blake, and I am the CEO and founder of Certify Canine. And I wanted to come on here to explain a little bit about our public access testing. Now, public access tests are not federally required under ADA law for service animals, but it is generally recommended in the service dog community. Now, our organization does require 2 public access tests for our underwriting process. And to explain what we do and who we are, really is we're a third-party testing company that does public access, human temperament, and task verification for service, therapy, and facility dogs. Once individuals have gone through that testing, they qualify for a third-party liability insurance that covers specifically working dogs. So it's a little bit different out in the industry. Now, with our process, we do have to verify that dogs can do expectations based off of the role that they're disclaiming or claiming for themselves. So we wanted to go over what our public access test looked like and go from there. Now, the testing form is almost identical to the 2 tests that require all of our applicants to go through. It's important to note that what we test for is the dog resiliency and self-regulation and neutrality in environments. So the things that we look for are the same, but the environment themselves get harder and more distracting. For the first environment, we recommend someplace that is dog friendly, such as a Home Depot, a farmer's market, a pet store, or any other dog friendly space. For the second public access test, we recommend somewhere like a department store, going to your local mall, going to someplace that has a higher threshold than the first test that you looked at. Now, with the testing procedures we look for, here are the few things that we look for. With the testing procedures, here are the things that we test for. Vehicle practice, and handler must be able to control and able to load and unload their dog safely in a calm manner. We also look for leash skills. So dogs do not have to be in a heel or specific loose leash. However, they do have to be on a calm leash that's no more than 4 feet away with no pulling and not in the way of the general public. Disclosure here, please note that if your dog is a mobility assistance dog that helps propel you in a wheelchair or helps propel you as you walk forward, that is a task that a dog is trained to do. They should still be able to have leash manners and can provide that task of having that mobility or that pushing or that pulling for you. We can tell the difference in our testing protocols, so please be aware. We do look for, as well as public buildings, so how the environment affects the dog. You'd be surprised what lights, sounds, and flooring can affect a dog within the public space. So we look at what are the surfaces that you handle. Is the dog able to go in and out of that building? Are they interested in the environment, or are they paying attention to you? And can they do a sit and or a down stay for 3 minutes within that general space and being calm? We also look at stairs and elevators that the dog must be under control. We do not test for escalators. The reason why is escalators provide a higher risk and require a higher level of training for individuals to go through. For our purposes, we do not test for that. We do not recommend our handlers utilizing any escalators with their dog. However, steps and elevators, those are common and must be seen. Steps, we ask for 3 or more. If you're an individual that is in a wheelchair or cannot utilize those steps, that is also a waiver that is disclosed within your service dog testing. But however, for therapy and facility dogs, they need to be calm under that. We also test for public skills, and these are skills that must be done throughout the test and in each environment. So we look for a place and stay from 10 feet away, and we also look from a place, stay, and a recall. We test specific of, can you walk away from your dog and come back to them, and can we walk away from the dog and come back to you? 2 very distinct looks at what those tasks are. We also look at general distractions. These items can be encountered throughout the test, but they need to be noises, moving objects, surfaces, tolerance of general public distractions, and also specifically food leave-its. We need these distractions because to test if your dog can be neutral and focused no matter what is happening around them in the chaos of our human world. We also have 2 specifically worded ones at the very end. Did the dog demonstrate a willingness to participate in the exercise? And number 9, if we skip number 8 real quick, is did the dog exhibit signs of avoidance or stress during the test? These are 2 very different things that we look for in dog behavior and communication. A willingness to participate is a dog wanting to come to their owner, a dog wagging comfortably with their body language, being loose, and are they actively having a conversation with their handler? And when I say conversation, it is not barking at their handler. It is an open dialogue between body language. Exhibiting signs of stress or avoidance are things that we watch for. We want to make sure that the dog can handle the resiliency needed to be in public. And does the handler recognize the stress and compensate, or is that something where the dog is consistently concerned or fearful of it? We also look at, is the dog initially excited? Did it calm down and begin to respond? We acknowledge that dogs do get excited when they're greeting other people or looking at you. However, they need to be focused on the individual handler. So a quick tail wag is totally okay as long as they go back to their handler for what they need to do. This test is by no means a stretch of every skill that a dog needs to be able to have in public, but this is the test that we look at for and qualifying individuals for our working dog insurance. Depending on your classification of service, therapy, or facility dog, that's when we go into those task verifications or the human temperament test to make sure that your dog is ready for the task that you disclose.